Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to the Sugarman Sports Complex for today's Big North American Division girls soccer action as the Dumont Huskies 1-3 on the season take on the Fort Lee Bridgemen 2-2 overall and looking to get above 500 here for the first time this season. Well, everybody, I'm Dan Long. So glad that you could join us here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel for this matchup on a beautiful day for soccer as Fort Lee is trying to make it 2 straight wins in a row and also trying to make it a 2-0 start to their campaign in divisional play. They're coming in off a 4-3 win against archrival Cliffside Park on the road their last time out. Dumont is coming in off a 4-0 loss against Dwight Morrow in their first opportunity. Since winning against Ridgeville Park earlier this season, they're 1-1 in league play. Dumont trying to bounce back. They lost 4-0 in their last game, 5-0 before that against Westwood. So they're looking for their first goal scored since they defeated Ridgeville Park on the road 2-0 back on September 9th. That was, in fact, their first win since 2022, snapping a 17-game winless streak in that win against the Scarlets on September 9th. Prior to that game, Dumont's last win also came against Ridgeville Park back on October 18th, 2022. These two sides met a season ago twice last year here at Fort Lee. A historic offensive output for the Bridgemen as Fort Lee put up 13 goals in a 13-4 win on October 2nd. When the two sides matched up at Dumont, it was September 9th. Earlier in the season, Fort Lee came away with an 8-1 victory against the Huskies. Dylan Van Riper is the head coach for Dumont, and Cal Pagano is the head coach here at Fort Lee. Today's broadcast is brought to you by William T. Birch Children's Fund, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction of Fort Lee, the Fort Lee Soccer Club, It's Greek to Me, the Fort Lee Education Association, the VFW of Fort Lee, Bergen Black Sox, Connect One Bank, Fort Lee Pizza, and the Collective Hair Salon of Fort Lee. We thank all of those sponsors for their support of the student athletes here at Fort Lee. There's a little bit of a delay in getting started here. Dumont was late in their arrival to the Sugarman Sports Complex. This was slated for a 4:15 kickoff. And now about 15-minute delay, but Dumont has taken the field. They are in their road white uniforms with orange numerals. Fort Lee going to be coming out onto the field in their home kits with black and orange trim. Cal Pagano led Fort Lee to their most wins since 2019, where they had 10 wins and won the 2020 league title a couple of seasons ago. Last season, Fort Lee finished 7-8 overall in the season, finished in 4th place in the American Division, behind the league champs Dwight Morrow, Cliffside Park, and Ridgeville Park. Advanced to the first round of the North 1 Group 3 sectional playoffs. Trying to get underway here and trying to capture what would be their second league win of the season. Just try to stay close with Dwight Morrow, the defending league champs. So after the delay, the whistle sounds, and we are underway here from the Sugarman Sports Complex. Beautiful afternoon, 74 degrees at opening kickoff. As Fort Lee gets to it, just outside of midfield. Lucia Koretsky, number 24, was the one who was dribbling before. Here's a shot from distance off the foot of Alexa Castro. Castro is going to cement herself as one of the greatest players in school history when her career comes to a close after this season. The senior forward, 80 goals, 13 assists for a mind-boggling 173 career points. Castro, a season ago as a junior, put up 44 goals and feasted in these matchups also against Dumont. Part of that offensive explosion that accounted for 13 goals in the win here at home a season ago. Joellen Rodriguez try to trigger that one back into play. Goes out of bounds. Last touch off of Fort Lee. Coming into this game, Dumont with 3 goals scored this season in 4 games. They have surrendered 15 goals, and there's a tough foul from behind. And that will set up a free kick upcoming now for Dumont. Abby Arvalo, number 11, was the one who was taken down from behind. Free kick upcoming now for Dumont. As we mentioned, 3 goals on the season, 15 goals allowed. Looking for their first goal in the last couple of games. Shift from far outside, and that's going to be easily taken in by Misaki Kasahara. Junior gets the start in goal for the Bridgemen today. She's got 43 saves already this season, surpassing her total from a season ago. Coming off a 7-save performance in the 4-3 win against Cliffside Park. Long ball just a little too long that time. Ansley Castro was looking for her sister Alexa that time. Maggie Hanley in goal for Dumont. The freshman had 15 saves recently in a game against Westwood. 33 saves on the season. Ball left behind in the midfield, taken down again. Arvalo. Knocked out of midair as Dumont tries to get to it to the near side. Maeve Bisher. Junior forward, number 7, had it briefly as Fort Lee works it up the field. And coming over to collect it is Hanley. Bridgemen a season ago were outstanding in terms of scoring goals. 61 goals scored, 62 goals allowed. So far this season, Fort Lee has scored 9 goals on the season, while giving up 19. They dropped their home opener here over the weekend against Riverdale 7-2. But were able to bounce back after that loss against the Golden Hawks with, again, that big win against arch rival Cliffside Park. As Fort Lee tried to go collect that on the far side, but knocked it out of bounds instead. Last touched out of bounds by Valeria Castameza. Dumont going to the far corner side, had that deflect off of Fort Lee. It'll be out of bounds for a deep throw-in on the offensive third. Dumont trying to generate the first offensive opportunity. Fort Lee collects the possession outside the box. Sent back in. Kind of an in-between hop that's going to be handled there by Kasahara. Ball left behind. Alexa Castro getting underneath it, trying to go for a run here. Despite only a couple of people around her, she still slowly rolled that one off to the near post side and out of play. Castro is never going to be sheepish when she's trying to get some shots off in time, as she has been able to find opportunities even when it's 1-on-4. Just like that time, nearly caught Hanley well out of the net. Goes out for a goal kick. kick was taken by one of the field players, and that curled its way out of bounds underneath us in the broadcast vantage point here at the Sugarman Sports Complex, and it's now possession for Fort Lee. Ansley Castro tried to weave her way through traffic, deflected it, and now it's going to be a throw-in. Joellen Rodriguez will throw it back into the course of play. Ansley Castro centers the ball up top. His shot whistled from distance. Again, a slow roller that's going to be easily handled. So Fort Lee trying to administer some pressure from the outside, but again, probably be better suited right now to try to get a little closer with those shot opportunities to really challenge the Dumont keeper. Along to the far side. Dumont tries to get to it as Fort Lee will collect possession. In the midfield, Castro's pass a little softer on the near side as Lacey Bark was trying to get to it. Bark with 4 goals on the season. The senior had a pair of goals against Cliffside Park, one of those striking partners up top with Alexa Castro. On a whistle, as it looks like it was a foul against Dumont. Castro playing it to herself, trying to maneuver inside the area, but that gets knocked out of play. Will be a throw-in here for Fort Lee. No correction, they give it a corner. Corner upcoming now for the Bridgemen. From the near corner side, coming up on 8 minutes gone by here in the first half. Bark will tee up this opportunity on the near corner. Drives that ball right to the middle of the offensive scoring area. Fort Lee trying to turn the corner. They take the shot on the near side, and that one is saved. It looks like Hanley got a piece of it on the near side as that goes out for another corner. Back-to-back corner opportunities now for Fort Lee. Inside, and a delivery for a goal. Beautiful off the set piece as the Bridgemen strike for the first goal of the afternoon. As Fort Lee found pay dirt right in front. Right off the set piece, no one was defending. And it looks like Koretsky was the recipient of that finish. Last season, Koretsky had 3 goals and 2 assists. And able to finish that one off the delivery off the corner. So second quarter finds the back of the net. And Fort Lee takes the early lead less than 10 minutes into the start of this first half. It's a 1-0 advantage for the Bridgemen. So an opportunity that was not wasted that time. Brought down here by Dumont. Taken away by Castro. Alexa Castro trying to go with it right in front of the net. Goalie comes out to try to cut down on that scoring opportunity, and that's a good play there by Hanley. As Alexa Castro was looming right there, if she could have just turned around a split second sooner, she would have had a better opportunity to take the shot. So that was a good play by the goalie to come out off her line to cut down that opportunity for Fort Lee. Bridgemen lead 1-0 over Dumont. Move to the midfield. Trying to find Barak to the near side. Latte. Try to bring it up again to Castro. Castro gets knocked down. She looks to the referee for no call. And Angelina Velate doing a good job of maneuvering down the side. Trying to set her an opportunity. There was nobody running to the middle of the nets, and that just goes out of bounds to the side. Fort Lee a season ago went 3-4 here at home at the Sugarman Sports Complex, winning their season finale against North Bergen. They scored 5 or more goals in 6 of their 7 wins last season, including that 13-goal outburst last year against Dumont. Already 1 goal on the board here this afternoon, as that's deflected, last touch out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in now for Fort Lee. Get forward by Barak. Lexa Castro, defender on her left side, rolls that one. And again, no real speed, no velocity on the shot attempt. That's easy pickings for the Dumont keeper. It remains a 1-goal lead for Fort Lee. Last touch out of bounds off of the Bridgman, so it's going to be a quick throw in here for Dumont. Huskies haven't really held that much of possession so far here in the opening 10 minutes of play. The handball is going to be the call against Fort Lee, giving possession back over to Dumont on the free kick. Last season in the 2 meetings with Dumont, Fort Lee scored 20 goals in 2 games. Dumont scored 5 total goals, but their 4 goals in their loss here at Fort Lee happen to be their high watermark of the season a season ago. Deflected off of Fort Lee last, so that's going to earn Dumont a corner. Fort Lee scored off a corner piece to give themselves a 1-0 lead. Will Dumont be able to do the same with an answer? As again, they'll venture their way to that far corner flag. Molina will tee it up. Drives that one into the scoring area. A header attempt and a collision ensues between goalie and defender, and both did their job to keep it out of the back of the net. So Dumont was so close to getting their first goal in the last couple of games. That was a nice placement of the pass and a good header attempt that was on target. Offside was the call, negating this rush up the field here for Dumont. But again, they were so close. Kasahara combined with one of her teammates to keep that out of the net. Remains a 1-0 advantage here for the Bridgmen. Played down the other way. In the defensive zone, it's Savannah Munoz, number 10, the sophomore defender for Dumont, trying to clear it up the field. Fisher tried that lead pass to Molina. Ansley Castro playing it backwards. Like it was Jolene Rodriguez who was the one who kept it out of the net last time off of that corner kick. The defender did a good job of playing a little goalie herself. That in-between hop is easily secured as Maggie Hanley trying to get into a nice little groove here in the first half and keep this only a 1-goal deficit for her side. Approaching 15 minutes gone by here in the first half. Goretzky scoring the goal, her first of the season for Fort Lee off the set piece. Barak along the near side, chipping that one on cage. Another nice save. Making the save as that one was lofted near post side on target. Settle down just outside the 35-yard line. Once again, Fort Lee trying to aggressively make a move behind the back line of Dumont. They're getting some opportunities, but again, a couple times in this first half, it looks like Fort Lee is content with just shooting from distance, not really ripping anything on target just yet, or just trying to possess the ball and move it in a little closer. Out of bounds as that pass is off the mark here for Dumont. It's the second game of a 5-game road trip for Dumont, as they will next play a home game on October 1st against Ridgefield Park. They started off their 5 straight road games with that 4-0 defeat at Dwight Morrow. Playing here today, then at Midland Park, at Cliffside Park, at Paramus. Taken away, Lillian Myers getting to the possession there. Morales with a nice lead ball. Here's an opportunity to break away as Fort Lee's going to have to try to get to it, and they dive on top of the ball as Castlehara had to range well off her line to make sure that she cut down. That was a nice ball originally by Lauren Morales, leading the way for Molina. And Molina had one more step. She might have had an opportunity to get to the ball and then unleash a shot. Castlehara did not want to do any of that. An aggressive play got to it. Castro being bodied up from behind. Castro trying to get to that opportunity, and then a foul is going to be whistled against Fort Lee. As Fort Lee was trying to get physical there between the two players and then bodied into it. That foul goes against the Bridgemen, so it's going to be a free kick upcoming now for Myers and Dumont. Lillian Myers is doing a great job there of going toe-to-toe and not backing down. Ansley Castro trying to get it down to the near side flank. Cleared back up top by Dumont. Dumont playing much better than certainly what was the case last season. Played forward off of Sage Solomon's foot, number 20 in white. Taken in the other way for Fort Lee as they race down with possession on the far side. That one is chipped right into the waiting hands of the keeper. So again, more possession for Fort Lee, but no real great shot opportunities. Kind of settling right now for the first opportunities that present themselves on the outside. Last shot was from Velate, and now Fort Lee wins back the ball. Cleared down the other way by Myers. Rodriguez losing the control as that goes out of bounds. Sub being made by Coach Van Riper and Dumont on the far side. As comes around to the near side, Barak trying to link up with Alexa Castro. Castro again fans 44 goals, 3 assists last season. She was an unstoppable force for the Bridgemen and had a legendary campaign. 80 goals in her career. Left around, here's Ansley Castro getting it to her sister. Tries to make the turn inside the box, plays it right back outside wide. Castro wins back possession. Barak getting it back up top. Nice maneuvering inside. That was by Koretsky. Again, a long shot from distance and taken on one hop there by Dumont. Fort Lee's only goal so far in this game came off a corner kick. That is one-time finish by Koretsky to stake her team out to a 1-0 advantage. Dumont's had a couple of opportunities on a counterattacks that have given them some glimmers of hope when it's come to shooting down on this side of the field as well. Wortley trying to retain the possession. Stolen away as Dumont has a opportunity here to the near side. It's Bisher playing it back up top. Molina across the middle with a runner coming, and that was off the mark on the far side. Again, Dumont is putting a couple of passes together that could lead to potential danger later on in this game. Fort Lee's going to have to be aware of those opportunities and shut them down. Still only a 1-goal margin in this one. Under 20 minutes left to go in the first half, as we've gotten past the midway point of the first half of play. Again, fans, we thank our proud sponsors for their continued support of Fort Lee Athletics here on YouTube. William T. Birch Children's Fund, Sedona Tap House, finest construction of Fort Lee. Fort Lee Soccer Club, it's Greek to me. The Fort Lee Education Association, the VFW of Fort Lee, Bergen Black Sox, Connect One Bank, Fort Lee Pizza, and the Collective Hair Salon of Fort Lee. Knocked down Solomon, who had a goal against Ridgeville Park, number 20 in white. Got a piece of that one is now Alexia Castro trying to find some green room to roam. She has it at her feet to the far side, charges to the net. Stops at a dime, makes the turn in front. Try to uncork the shot. Good recovery defense, though, by Solomon. And then an ensuing frustration foul against Fort Lee. Alexa Castro was trying to maneuver around in tight quarters and was flanked on all sides by Dumont defenders. Could not get the shot off in time, and then a foul was whistled against that buildup offensively by Fort Lee. It's one of those times that Fort Lee actually did dribble with it a little bit more rather than just uncork a long-distance shot. They didn't get the shot off that time before the foul. Here, Fort Lee will try again from deep. Deflected right back by Solomon. Ansley Castro. Shadowed by Mia Masari, number 12. Masari had a goal in their season opener against Becton. Molina was trying to get to it, but Fort Lee was able to knock it away. And a foul whistled against Fort Lee. Well, looks like Ansley Castro is sharing some words with the official. I think this might be the final warning for her, and the next would result in a yellow card. Clock being stopped here, as Castro did say something at the end there to the referee and is now being shown the yellow card. Looked like the official was giving her a long leash, and then Castro said something as he turned around, and immediately when we saw that, we knew what was going to be coming, and that was a yellow card. So number 7 for Fort Lee is shown a yellow, as she'll have to go off for the time being and has to make sure that she does not procure another yellow in this game, or she would be ejected and shown the red. 16-13 left to go in the first half. Still only a 1-goal lead for Fort Lee, who won in this matchup by 9 goals a season ago. Taken along to the near side, stolen away by Koretsky. Koretsky trying to lead Castro down the other way, but Alexa Castro could not get to that. Stolen in the midfield. Latte now bringing it up the other way into the offensive end, trying to get past that back line of Dumont, who are trying to recover deep in their own end. Centering ball, but again, no runner. Fort Lee's getting more opportunities with possession and certainly trying to create a buildup. Munoz was trying to get a foot to it as it's taken back by Fort Lee. Over to Rodriguez to the near side. Stolen away by Bisher momentarily and cleared back down the other way. Rajan Riaheinzad was the one who stole it away, and there's a chip shot opportunity, and Alexa Castro just elevated that a little too high to the upper left-hand corner and out of play. Riaheinzad was the one who had a goal against Cliffside Park, number 21, on that back line for Fort Lee. Fort Lee began their season on the road, losing against Paramus Catholic before traveling to Teaneck and winning a 2-1 decision. Fort Lee alternated wins and losses this season. They lost at home in their home opener against Riverdale over the weekend, but then bounced back with a win on the road at Cliffside Park. They're hoping not to alternate here today and get over 500 for the first time this season. They're 2-2 on the year. Dumont 1-3. Molina played it up top. Carvalho down the near side to Molina. Molina trying to turn with it. Had that deflect off of Fort Lee last, so it's going to be a throw-in deep in the offensive end of the field for Dumont. Bisher try to roll it inside to her teammate. Good job of clearing it out of harm's way by the Fort Lee defense. Rodriguez steps into the path of the pass, but her pass is anticipated and knocked right back by Myers. Long ball going down the other way. Here's Alexa Castro, has it at her feet with the two defenders in front of her. Goalie well out of the net. Castro takes the shot with the left foot and a finish. What everybody was waiting for here, a goal by Fort Lee's Alexa Castro. Her second goal of the season, and 81st of her career. And that has now given Fort Lee a 2-0 lead with 12:51 left to go before halftime. It was a good long ball pass out of the defensive end down the field to Castro. And even though she had two different defenders shadowing her, she was able to lean one way and then put the ball on her left foot and finish to the near post side. 2-0 lead for the Bridgemen. Castro was trying to get it out to space as Barrick was making a run down the near side wing. As that goes out of play, will be a throw-in now for Fort Lee. Along to the near side, it goes now. Lacey Barrick got a piece of it, but also knocked away from her by Myers. Stolen back into the midfield. Another long ball trying to find Castro. She'll track it down before it rolls out of bounds. Castro trying to back down her defender. Curls on one, draws the attention of a second defender, who then procures the possession and plays it out to space to Molina. Played back into the defensive zone as Fort Lee will just send it out, but that clearance attempt is knocked down to the far side. Alexis Nimmo, number 9, the freshman for Dumont, was the one who knocked it down. Stoppage of play as sub is made here for Dumont. Fort Lee coming off their most goals scored in a game this season with the 4 put up on the road at Cliffside Park. They're halfway here with 2 goals here this afternoon. Here to the near side. Again, another long ball. Was trying to link up with Baric. Was making the run down the near side. Myers tries to do a good job, and she's been very good at playing strong physical defense in the back end for Dumont while not fouling and eliciting fouls against the frustrated Fort Lee forwards who are trying to win back the ball against her. Come up on the final 10 minutes of the first half. 2-0 advantage for Fort Lee, trying to gain their 3rd win of the season. Molina and Dumont trying to get their 2nd win of the year. They've already surpassed their win total from a season ago, and now are trying to get a 2nd win on the board and also produce their 2nd win in divisional play. Shot from deep, again by Castro, is easily handled by Hanley. A win here today for Fort Lee would tie them atop the league with Dwight Morrow. Ansley Castro back onto the field after she was given the yellow card. Latte is now maneuvering down the midfield. Tried to find Castro, but again, Castro was just not able to receive that pass as she made the turnarounds as that goes out of bounds for a goal kick. And as we've seen a couple times throughout the course of this game, goalie does not handle the goal kicks. Instead, it's going to be taken by a defender for Dumont. In the fluorescent green cleats, it's Savannah Munoz, number 10. As that is misplayed out of bounds, will be now possession for Fort Lee. 8:40 left to go in our first half of play. Thanks for joining us on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel for this girls soccer showdown in the Big North American Division. Now a late whistle is blown, and Castro is trying to say that she was contacted, and they're going to say that it was actually outside the box. No penalty kick upcoming. Instead, it's going to be a set piece, as Castro will have an opportunity with the 3-person wall jumping in front of her, as she's going to be trying to curl this one in. Castro, a low line shot. Nice save there. The follow-up is pounced on and finished off. After the initial shot was a blistering one from distance, that one was finished off, and it looks like that might have been Ansley Castro scoring after her sister Alexa was the one who blasted that set piece initially. A nice save by Hanley, but again, Ansley Castro pounced on it and produces her 2nd goal of the season, and now it is a 3-0 margin in favor of Fort Lee. Bridgman in control. They've shifted, obviously, all the pressure, certainly after scoring that opening goal of the game. The field is completely tilted in their favor. Dumont trying to create in transition themselves on a counter. Lauren Morales tried to make a turn on one defender, was met on the backside by another Fort Lee defender. Bridgman winning back the possession. Good sound defensive work. They'll clear it away out of bounds to the far side, but that was strong because they don't want to make any mistakes inside the box and lead to a penalty kick. Goretzky. Ansley Castro. Baric trying to run underneath it. Long ball just a little too far, though, for her, as that'll be scooped up. Bridgman averaged over 4 goals a game last season, averaging just over 2 goals to start off this new campaign, but surpassing that total with their 3 here in the first half alone. Flip forward by Masari. Now to Molina. Tries to make the turn. As that'll roll out of bounds for a goal kick, as Kasahara will try to re-trigger everything here, as Fort Lee will also operate just like Dumont does and have a defender actually restart play. Castro. Ainsley Castro taken along the near side. The junior finally healthy and able to play after suffering a couple injuries earlier in her Fort Lee career. Chested down by Castro as Ainsley in the midfield. Her sister Alexa lurking up top as a striker. That one is ricocheted off of a pair of players, and possession still taken in by Fort Lee. As we're coming up on 5 minutes and change left to go here in the first half. First half that has been controlled by the home side. The Bridgmen of Fort Lee leading 3-0. Long shot, and again, take it on one hop. Castro girls looking at each other. I think Alexa was trying to get her younger sister, to not take the shot, but instead build up the offense. Dumont was trying their best to save it in play, but it did eventually roll over the far sideline. Throw in just to the side of the Fort Lee bench. Played backwards. Barra getting a chip of it. Alexa Castro in hot pursuit. Trying to keep her off the ball is Alexis Nimmo. Castro wins the possession. Here's the double team coming to her. Castro chipping that one. Trying to go from the far to the near post side. Just chipped it wide of the mark, but that was an impressive move to get that shot opportunity as well. 4 minutes left to go in the first half. 3-0 advantage for Fort Lee. Castro from deep, turned and fired, and again, no chance there of getting it on target as it goes out for another goal kick opportunity for Dumont. While Fort Lee has certainly done a lot of peppering of the goalie in this first half, not a lot of them have been of high quality. They scored off a corner kick. Nice one-timer finish by Lucia Koretsky. That got them on the board, but Fort Lee has settled for a lot of long-distance shots that have no chance of going in. They've dominated, though, in terms of offensive possession, have gotten goals from Alexa Castro and Ainsley Castro as well. Dumont has had their moments. They've been trying to see if they could produce a goal here and get off their scoreless drought that dates back to their second game of the season. Shot from long range that time by Masari, just went whistling wide to the far side. Goal kick upcoming. Fort Lee on the far side. Try and maneuver with it. Good dribbling there by Velate, number 23. Latte tried to uncork a shot from deep. Baric trying to race after it, now inside the box. Good recovery by the Dumont defense. They'll knock it out of play. It will result in a throw-in deep in the offensive third for Fort Lee as we come up with the final 90 seconds of half number one. Latte getting it to the feet of Castro. Castro on the near side, chipping that one. And that was the best save of the afternoon for Maggie Hanley. Using both hands to take away the near post side and prevent Alexa Castro for the time being of producing her second goal of the contest. Goes out of play for a quarter kick, though, for Fort Lee, as the Bridgemen tee it up from the same spot where they scored their first goal. Alexa Castro has that one pinball off herself and a defender, as Dumont gets to it with under a minute left here in the first half. Looks like it was a throw-in violation against Dumont, so possession will go back over to Fort Lee with 30 seconds left to go in the first half. Latte. Stolen away by Dumont as we close into the final 10 seconds. Maybe one last chance here for Ansley Castro, getting it up top to her sister. Alexa tries to turn. Will she get it off in time? 1 second left. And that shot I don't think would have counted, as the save was made nonetheless by Maggie Hanley. Fort Lee was dominant in their possession and shot opportunities, and they scored 3 times in that first half to stake themselves to a 3-0 lead as we head to halftime. Stick around, Vance, as we'll be back for the start of the second half of play, as you're watching the 2024 girls soccer season here at Fort Lee on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. We are moments away from the resumption of play in the start of the second half here at the Sugarman Sports Complex. Fort Lee in front of Dumont by a score of 3-0. Koretsky, Ansley, and Alexa Castro, the three different goal scorers here this afternoon for Coach Pagano's Bridgman, who are 2-2 on the season, trying to go to 2-0 in the Big North American Division and trying to go above 500 for the first time this season. Dan Long, so glad that he could join us here on our Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. I'm seeing the second home game of the season for the Bridgmen. Again, as a reminder, we'd like to thank our proud sponsors here at Fort Lee Athletics here on YouTube. William T. Birch Children's Fund, the Sedona Tap House, the finest construction of Fort Lee Soccer Club, It's Greek to Me, the Fort Lee Education Association, the VFW of Fort Lee, Bergen Black Sox, Connect One Bank, Fort Lee Pizza, and the Collective Hair Salon. Bridgmen have really dominated possession here outside of only a handful of opportunities for Dumont to try to go past that back line. Fort Lee has had the time of possession in their favor. They've taken a ton of shots and a ton on target as well. Maggie Hanley has been solid in goal for Dumont here today. And the whistle sounds as we are underway to start off the second half. Fort Lee in the black and orange. In the white with the orange numerals is Dumont. As that is allowed to roll out of bounds, will be a throw-in upcoming now for Valeria Acosta Meza. Number 25, the freshman in the starting lineup. Ruka Suzuki, number 17, played it over to the far side. Stolen away by Suzuki. She'll venture forward and drop it off for Koretsky, who scored off that set-piece corner that got Fort Lee on the board and staked them out to an early 1-0 lead. Acosta Meza not taking any chances, will just play it out of bounds to the near side. Be a resulting throw-in now for Dumont and Lauren Morales. Kiri Nunez, number 8, was trying to get to it for Dumont. That goes out of play. And that'll be a goal kick opportunity upcoming now for Fort Lee. Big matchup waits for Fort Lee in their next fixture after this one. On September 23rd, they will travel to Dwight Morrow, and if this result holds, that'll be a battle for first place between two teams that are undefeated atop the standings at this point in the season. Fort Lee traveling to take on the Maroon Raiders of Dwight Morrow on September 23rd in their next time out, and then the next home game here for Fort Lee will be on September 26th as they'll take on Ridgefield Park. Dumont again in the midst of a 5-game road trip. They will travel to Midland Park for their next game. Their next game in the division will be at Cliffside Park on September 26th. Long ball, little hesitation there. Goalie had to come out. Ball was loose out in front. Goalie well out of the net. Also down a little bit, trying to run back to get into her net. It's kind of a do-or-die situation there. A little hesitancy cost an initial play made. Kasahara did a good job of eventually getting a piece and then getting back in time after she had vacated her net. Now here's a breakaway the other way for Fort Lee. It's Baric trying to go 1v1, but again betrayed by that last touch as it caromed off of her shin, and that allowed Hanley to get to it without a shot offered. So a couple of opportunities for both teams after it opened up a little bit to start off this second half of play. Out of bounds to the far side it goes, and it will be a throw-in and possession now for Fort Lee. 1 goal away from matching their season high of 4 goals in a game that was produced in their last contest, the 4-3 win on the road against Cliffside Park. Just saved on that far sideline as Koretsky kept it in play. Munoz was trying to feed her teammate up top in number 11, Arvalo. Suzuki did a good job of anticipating from her backline position. That goes out of play. Be possession instead for Dumont. Initially, the referee ruled that it was going to be possession for Fort Lee. Into the midfield it goes. Latte, nice maneuvering down the near side into the scoring area. Takes the shot right at the goalie as Hanley makes the save, but that was a beautiful move with dribbling up the field, getting to a spot where that shot could be uncorked. Another save for Hanley. She's going to have well over double-digit saves here this afternoon. She had a season-high 15 saves in that loss against Westwood. Again, another nice play, nice dribbling by Velate. Takes the shot near post side, and that once again is blocked away by Hanley. But it goes out of play. That'll earn Fort Lee a corner as Angelina Velate, the junior who had an assist in the win against Cliffside Park last time out, was trying to score her second goal of the season. Corner kick for Fort Lee, taken on the near side. Tried a header attempt by Koretsky on the near side, as that is going to be ruled out off of Dumont, and it's going to be another corner kick upcoming for the Bridgemen. Whipped over to the far side. It's going to be settled down. Top of the box. Flick attempt, though, off the mark, and that'll go out now for a goal kick. Fort Lee scored 8 goals in that first matchup of the year a season ago. September 9th on the road at Dumont, they won 8-1. And then 13 goals put up in the second meeting here on October 2nd. 21 total goals in the 2 games against the Huskies. So the Huskies have definitely cleaned things up defensively, much more so this season. Hanley has been playing well in goal here to make this still a 3-goal margin. Suzuki will be told to come back with a free kick upcoming. Linked up with Koretsky up top. Makes the turn, tries to lead that pass to the far side. Stepping up is Dumont. And Hanley will come in to save the day. 7 minutes into the start of the second half, still in control. Fort Lee leading 3-0. Looking to go to 2-0 in league play, trying to go to 3-2 overall on the season. Taken down. Velate. Still collecting with the possession, taking herself coast to coast. She's breaking in, takes the shot, but chips it a little too far to the right side. She did everything but the finish, as she has looked solid here at the start of this second half with her dribbling skills throughout the host of Dumont defenders. Just couldn't pay it off there at the very end. Acosta Meza. On the far side, that's Masari trying to drive that ball deep down the far end to Savannah Munoz. Rodriguez will re-trigger the start of play here for Fort Lee with the throw-in just alongside the bench of Dumont. Nearly stolen away by Suzuki. Settled down by Molina. Taken away by Koretsky. As Dumont will play it forward. Sarah Yu, number 17, was that backline defender who cleared it out initially. Latte down the near side. Tried to go with the left foot, but kicked that one behind the net. That'll go out for a goal kick. Their subs are coming back onto the field in the form of the two Castro sisters for Fort Lee, who did not start the second half, but Alexa and Ansley are back onto the pitch. As we approach 10 minutes gone by here in the start of the second half. Out of bounds it goes. Possession now for Fort Lee as it rolled out of bounds in front of us. Alexa Castro to Ansley. Now Velate. Centering ball to nobody. Ansley Castro will win back the possession. Trying to weave her way through four different defenders. Try to link up with Baric and had that one go off her feet. Ricochet right into Baric. She gets to it. But then it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be last touch past the end line off of Fort Lee, so it goes out for a goal kick. Fight for the possession of the midfield between the two sides. Molina tried to bring that one down as Dumont tries to break it out the other way. Now a whistle by the official. Dumont thought that they had a breakaway opportunity, but the referee had deemed it correctly that was using the shoulder to then knock down the ball. So that's a handball against Dumont, and free kick up coming now for Fort Lee just outside the 40-yard line. Taking along down the near side. Alexa Castro beating past one defender, chipping it to the far post with a runner going down that side, but it went just out of bounds. Castro was trying to find an opportunity to either shoot or get that to her teammate that was running down that far flank. As it was Elda Shuki, number 5, was the senior who was trying to find that opening. Ball driven into the box. Dumont unable to control it. That's going to go out for a corner on the far side, corner flag. Corner kick up coming again. This is how Fort Lee scored their first goal of the game back in the first half, off a corner. As Baric served it up and Koretsky finished it off in one fell swoop. Goalie coming off and out, and it's now left up top. Fort Lee, though, shoots it wide of the mark, out of bounds, and they'll go out for a goal kick. 27 minutes left to go here in the second half of play. Still a 3-0 lead for Fort Lee, the same margin they enjoyed at halftime. First of two meetings this season between these two league rivals. The second meeting will come on October 9th at Dumont. Here's Castro ripping that one to the near left side and out of play. Alexa Castro with 1 goal here today, giving her her 81st goal of her Fort Lee career. 175 career points now for Alexa. Fort Lee trying to win back the possession. Dumont, good defensive work there by Solomon. Lays it out wide to the near side. That pass off the mark as Alexa Castro will collect. Could not get away from 3 different white-clad defenders on the near sideline. Again, they've had blanket coverage, and rightfully so. She wreaked havoc all last season against Dumont, feasting in these 2 matchups. Fort Lee ripping that one from distance. And Maggie Hanley again reading it all the way from distance and doing a good job of ranging down low to make sure that it didn't squeak past her for a goal. So Hanley has been sharp here today as she has been very busy having to defend her goal. No cheap goals have been scored against her. Solomon tries to play it up top to Morales. As that comes down the other way, goes out of bounds, will be a throw-in upcoming now for Fort Lee. Alexa Castro. Now the feet of Velate as she had that one prodded away from her. Suzuki, solid, aggressive defensive work in the back line. Here's Ansley Castro. Frustrated as she passed it to no one. Dumont trying to keep this in play, but they can't as it rolls out of bounds. It'll be possession now for Fort Lee. Play to the back line, played up top. Into the midfield to Ansley Castro. Now playing up top, Velate looking to link up with Alexa Castro. Defender just holding on to the right side of her. Castro rips that one into the back of the net and scores. Alexa Castro, her 2nd goal of the game, 1st of the 2nd half. And Fort Lee has put up 4 goals on the board. Castro's 2nd goal of this contest. 3rd goal of the season for Castro, goal number 82 in her career. Again, she will leave this program as one of the greatest to ever wear the Fort Lee girls soccer uniform. 2nd goal of this game, and that was the thing of brilliance, as she just had the strength to keep the defender to her right side, just on her hip as she then turned and fired. Here's Castro again. Down the near side, a collision ensues on that near side between her and Yu. So Fort Lee in back-to-back games have now produced 4 goals apiece and have taken a 4-0 advantage. Here's Alexa Castro. Castro again looking for more, trying to maybe produce a hat trick. Plays it up top to Koretsky. Koretsky is the C's part for her. She goes right down the middle, takes the shot. Hanley with a diving kick save. Hanley has done an extraordinary job of, again, just keeping this a 4-goal margin in this game. She has had a couple of great saves, and that time when nobody really picked up Koretsky, just going right down the middle. Got the shot off, and Hanley came out to cut down the angle, and in doing so also had the ability to kick away that shot opportunity. Most goals given up this season by Dumont was in their opener when they lost 6-1 against Becton. Lost 4-0 against Dwight Morrow in their last fixture that came on September 16th. Played down the other way. Here's a chance for Dumont trying their best to save it just before it went out of bounds past the yellow line. They could not do that, so it goes out for a goal kick for Fort Lee. Good hustle on the play, though, by number 5, Lauren Morales. Sophomore. Trying to save that possession for the Huskies and maybe get a shot opportunity as well. Castro turns with it on the near sideline. Slowed down briefly by Nunez. Latte, lofted pass as Shuki down the far wing. Shuki left it off for a teammate, Barak, inside the box. It finds its way to the feet of Castro, and another diving save this time by Hanley to the far post corner. So even though that shot opportunity was kind of left to the feet of Lacey Barak, it found its way, as it often does, to the goal scorer in Alexa Castro. Castro tried to slip that one by Hanley, but Hanley did a great job of ranging down low, diving to her left to make that stop. As we're coming up on the midway point of the second half, just over 20 minutes left to go in regulation. All Fort Lee here today against Dumont, as they're on top by a 4-0 margin. Latte again, right down the middle, and again, just poked it forward right at Hanley. Again, Hanley has not been giving up any soft goals so far this afternoon. When they have been goals for Fort Lee in the 4 occasions, they have been solid strikes that have found pay dirt. Under 20 minutes left to go here in the second half. A reminder of a big thank you to our sponsors here for these Fort Lee athletic broadcasts this 2024-25 school year. William T. Birch Children's Fund, the Sedona Tap House, Finest Construction of Fort Lee, Fort Lee Soccer Club, It's Greek to Me, the Fort Lee Education Association, the VFW of Fort Lee, Bergen Black Sox, Connect One Bank, Fort Lee Pizza, and Collective Hair Salon. Latte curling around last season, 2 goals, 6 assists for the junior midfielder. Now to Ansley Castro as one of the 4 goals here today. Ansley still going for a run with it to the far side, maneuvering all the way out beyond the perimeter. Getting to the corner flag now. That is last deflected off of a Dumont defender, so Ansley Castro has earned her team a corner, as Fort Lee will tee it up on that far side of the Sugarman Sports Complex. Again, the next home game for the Bridgemen will come against Ridgefield Park on September 26 next week. Driving ball goes to the top of the nets and out, so it goes out for a goal kick. Again, a lot on the line in the next matchup as they travel to Dwight Morrow. Fort Lee has a chance in that game to potentially take sole custody of first place if they could come away with a win. If this plays out like it is right now with his 4-0 lead, Fort Lee will go to 2-0 in league play, joining the likes of Dwight Morrow as 2-0 starters. Dwight Morrow has won the league crown the last couple of seasons. As that goes out of bounds, will be a throw in near midfield now for Dumont. Taken down by Molina. Up top, Arvalo goes out of bounds to the far side. Taken in by Molina. Molina had a goal against Ridgefield Park. That was in the second game of the season. Dumont scored in their first and second games of the year, but they've been shut out in their last two consecutive fixtures. Trying to avoid a shutout here today, but they only have 16 and a half minutes to change that outcome. Looks like Dumont is going to get a corner kick opportunity here. And no correction after having one of the players retrieve that ball. It looked like she was going to be trying to take it to the far side flag. But then the referee quickly said, nope, it's out for a goal kick. So Fort Lee will try to boot this one away. Up top to Castro. She makes the turn on her defender. Alexa Castro in the open field. Going right down the middle. Castro dribbling now to the top side. Rips that right-footed approach. And that one just sails high and wide as she was trying to get it into the upper left-hand corner. Castro's bid for a hat trick here in this game just off the mark. Hanley's outlet was deflected out of bounds off of Fort Lee, so it'll be a throw-in now as we come up on 15 minutes left to go in this second half. Fisher trying to chase it down and does for Dumont. Long ball the other way. Castro tried to step in front of Hanley there to see if she could maybe get a header on that one. Acosta Meza. Along the near side. Goes out of bounds. Will be a throw-in now for Fort Lee. Don't know if Misaki Kasahara has an official save yet in this game, but she was solid in the beginning when it was still scoreless and there were a couple of chances for Dumont that she just had to come out of the net to cut down those opportunities. That shot from distance just missed from the left side as Hanley was beaten but just could not get it accurately on target. The Kasahara and her defense have done their jobs here today. And most of the work has been done up front by the midfield and by the forwards, as Fort Lee has totally flipped this field in its favor this afternoon. But you could see the progress being made by Dumont. Again, Rome wasn't built in a day, and Dylan Van Riper trying to make this program change under his direction. Long to the near side, goes out of play, and be a foul, a whistle. Should be possession for Fort Lee. Set piece upcoming. Fort Lee trying to maybe score off the set piece for the second time here this afternoon. Under 13 minutes left to go, it's going to be Ansley Castro with this service. Castro, oh, a pinpoint accuracy on that finish. The upper 90. Hit that one in the top right corner, and that would have knocked off the cookie jar as Ansley Castro scores and gives Fort Lee a 5-0 advantage. Ansley Castro now with a pair of goals, along with Alexa Castro scoring twice. Koretsky scoring a goal, and Fort Lee has scored twice more here in the second half after producing 3 goals in the first half. 5-0 advantage now for Fort Lee, their highest goal total in a single game this season, with the 5 goals put on the board, and that was a thing of beauty again. A goal by Ansley Castro off of the set piece that went into the top right corner. Could not place it any better. There's a stoppage right now as there's an injury with Alexa Castro needing to gain some attention. She was just by herself near midfield after she was writhing in pain, as Tom Herr, the head athletic trainer here at Fort Lee, will come over and attend to one of the star players for the Bridgemen. As there's an injury timeout, we'll take the timeout as well. 12 minutes exactly left to go here in the second half, and it's been all Bridgemen here today as they're moving closer and closer to procuring their 3rd win of the season as they lead Dumont 5-0. Good to see Alexa Castro get up on her own power and walk her way off the field. Hopefully it's just nothing more than cramps, as she was trying to be stretched out there. 2 goals in the game for Alexa Castro, 2 goals for her sister Ansley, 1 goal for Lucia Koretsky, who started things off for the Bridgemen back in the early vestiges of the first half. And Fort Lee with a solid performance here today. And Maggie Hanley has made them earn it. Again, she has been solid. Despite the 5 goals scored by Fort Lee, Hanley has been exquisite in goal for Dumont. And she'll have over double-digit saves here this afternoon, even in a losing effort. So it'll be 12 minutes exactly remaining here after the clock is re-triggered, following that injury to Castro. Alexa Castro it is. Couple of new subs into the game for Coach Pagano. Including number 26, Jarajana. Fort Lee also trying to now produce what would be their first shutout victory of the season. Their 2 wins this year. Teaneck 2-1, Cliffside Park 4-3. Not going to be a nail-biter today. So winning a pair of 1-goal games, and now Suzuki bringing it up the middle of the field. Bridgemen led 3-0 at halftime. Have tacked on 2 more here in the second half. Again, this is a much improved opponent that they're playing from a season ago. But Fort Lee still no threat, as the defense has been good at just getting service right back over to the other side and getting it to their playmakers up front on offense. throw in now for Fort Lee. We'll have a showdown for first place in the Big North American Division awaiting them in their next time out. Again, as they travel to Dwight Morrow. They'll play Dwight Morrow later on this season here at home on October 21st. As Hanley falls down, ball squirts out up top. Latte getting it up top to Barak. Stepping up and sending it back. Fort Lee trying to find their way to potentially a 6th goal in this game, as that'll be collected by Maggie Hanley. Molina propels that one forward. Deflected forward by Jana. Now out to space to the near side to Dumont's Nunez, who has that deflected out of bounds. Nice work again, Velate. She was a spark to begin this second half with her speed and dribbling ability. She's curling it inside the box again, but just that last touch. We've seen that with a couple of Fort Lee players here today. They've done all that hard work, but that last touch betrays them and has allowed Hanley a couple of opportunities to then just jump on top of the ball and prevent a scoring opportunity for Fort Lee. Along to the far side, it goes to Bisher, Maeve Bisher. Dumont possession as they'll throw it back in front of the Fort Lee sideline. 7:50 and counting left to go here in the second half. Fort Lee on their way to their 3rd win of the season, back-to-back victories as well this year. They went 7-8 overall last season. Qualified for the North 1 Group 3 sectional playoffs, lost to Northern Highlands in the first round. But they started off a little slowly in that beginning of last season and then came on strong near the end. So Coach Pagano's side's going to get it above 500 here. Here's an opportunity for a 6th goal, a slow roller, and that'll go for the 6th goal of the contest. Lacey Barak will score that one. For Barak, that'll be her 5th goal of the season to be the team leader in that category. Barak had a pair of goals against Cliffside Park. Last season had 2 goals and 6 assists, and already has 5 goals this season. So a 6th spot put on the board here for the Bridgemen. They came in scoring 9 total goals on the season through their first 4 games. And now this also is the most goals surrendered this season by Dumont in a game, tying the 6 they allowed in their opener against Beckton. The Huskies have put forward a strong effort here today, just coming up against a more skilled Fort Lee side that have been able to cap off some scoring opportunities. Latte again. Sandwiched off the ball that time, as Morales came back on defense to procure the possession. Try to get it to Arvalo, number 11. Dumont again trying to, if anything, they could find a way to get some offensive opportunities here in the last 5.5 minutes to avoid their 3rd straight shutout. Looks like the shin guard came out from underneath the sock of Kasahara. So she's been granted time to put that back in. Now resume play as she'll look to drop kick this one away. With 5 minutes left to go here in the second half. On a comfortable afternoon for high school soccer here in Fort Lee, just outside of New York City. Thanks for joining us again on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Been a successful couple of days in our last broadcasts. The boys soccer team defeated Cliffside Park 3-2 in a thrilling finish earlier in the week. And then here, business getting done by the Fort Lee girls on their way to a divisional victory against Dumont. Once again, we'd like to thank our proud sponsors, William T. Birch Children's Fund, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction, Fort Lee Soccer Club, it's Greek to me, Fort Lee Education Association, VFW of Fort Lee, the Bergen Black Sox, Connect One Bank, Fort Lee Pizza, and Collective Hair Salon. As we'll be bringing you the sights and sounds of Fort Lee athletics throughout this entire 2024-25 academic school year. Solomon for Dumont playing it forward. 3.5 minutes left to go. Bounce wide to the far side. Dumont trying to run underneath it. Played up top. It's a good opportunity for so many of the reserves to get some playing time as well for Coach Pagano's side. Here's Koretsky, who got it all started. Scoring her first goal this season in the process. 4 different goal scorers, accounting for the 6 goals here today for the Bridgemen. Fort Lee just gets it down to the corner flag, playing a little keep away. Fort Lee emerging with it, and again, just playing it outside. Dumont down the near side wing. Suzuki trying to run to it. Could be an opportunity here for Dumont, as Suzuki does get to it as her goalie had stayed back in net. Two minutes left to go in the second half. Subs being made by Dumont. Getting some fresh legs for the final 2 minutes. Dumont will again hit the road in their next time out on September 21st. They will travel to play Midland Park out of the NJIC, while Fort Lee will play at Dwight Morrow in a big game. Winner will have the sole possession of first place in the Big North American Division. Dwight Morrow has had Fort Lee's number the last couple of seasons. Koretsky knocked off the ball by Molina as we approach our final minute of play. 3 goals in the first half, 3 more here in the second half for Fort Lee. In their best overall performance of the season. And what a way to bounce back after surrendering 7 goals in a 7-2 loss here over the weekend against Riverdale. To bounce back with league wins against Cliffside Park on the road, and then here producing their first win at home this season against Dumont. A foul from behind against the Huskies, and that'll be a free kick upcoming now for Fort Lee. Masaki Kasahara is closing in on a clean sheet, producing her first shutout victory of the season. team played well here today, and they'll leave home happy with their first win. They picked up 3 wins here at home a season ago, and this will be win number 1 at the Sugarman Sports Complex and win number 3 overall on the season. The final score, Fort Lee 6 and Dumont nothing. Dumont falls to 1-4 on the season. Fort Lee improves to 3-2 overall on the campaign. So that'll do it for our broadcast coverage here from Fort Lee High School. For Dimitri Nanis, I'm Dan Long saying so long, and we'll see you next time here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel.